Greetings and welcome to the beginner's guide for the Red Mage for Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. Now, the Red Mage is actually the easiest class to play in all of the game, at least in terms of DPS from what I've seen, because there really is no set rotation, no super complicated openers, and it's only really a set of priorities that you just need to pay attention to. So, what does this involve? Well, if we go into the traits, you will see this, dual cast. Now, this is the bread and butter of the Red Mage. What this means is that after you cast any spell that has a cast time, your next spell will be instant. That means if you cast this, which is the upgraded version of your main ability, you can instantly cast basically any other spell here that you can see, including Raise. I don't know why it's called Raise, but that's just how it is. Now, aside from that, there is a quote-unquote priority system here, because the Red Mage lives and dies off of their white and other black mana right here. When you first open the class, they will explain to you that some of our most powerful abilities are enchanted when both of these mana bars reach a certain percentage. Now, as you can see here, these are pretty good abilities right here. However, if we go into their enchanted versions, which are down here, let's see, it's, hold on, riposte. Hold on, which is the first one? Here, yeah. So, as you can see, enchanted riposte deals 210. And the number one deals 130. Enchanted Swishao, I'm going to assume that's what it says, has a potency of 290 if done in combo. And the other one has 150 when done in combo, so you can see where this is going. And Enchanted Redoublement, I'm not sure what that is, 470, and the number one is only 230. So these enchanted versions of our melee abilities are what we are aiming to use as often as possible. Now, along those, we also have these. Verflare and Verholy. You don't get these to 68 and 70. Now, as you can see, these are our hardest hitting abilities, hitting for 550. However, these are also very difficult to cast because, as you can see at the very bottom of here of Verholy, it says, can only be executed after landing Enchanted Redoublement, or whatever. You get the idea. So the general idea is to get enough, black and white mana. It is black and white mana, right? I think so. To be able to use all three enchanted versions of these abilities. So if we do the math, it costs 30, it costs 25, and 25. So we need a total of 80 of both types of mana in order to do this entire combo in the enchanted version. And then after we do the enchanted of this, we'll be able to use these, which are instant and are our hardest hitting spells. However, it's not so easy because after you use these, as you can see, increases white or black mana by 21. Now, I've been speaking about this black and white mana, so let's show you what I mean by this. Have at thee. Now, as you can see, most of our abilities either give us a certain charge of both or one or the other, or require something. So, for example, if we get it to 30, we'll be able to use the enchanted versions. However, as you can see, using this ability only grants us 3 of each. So what is the best way to increase it and not take forever? Well, that would be using Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder. As you can see, they increase their respective ones by 11. Now, when you first get the Red Mages, this one's going to be over here, and this one's going to be over here. I switched them around because this makes more sense, because the white mana is over here on the bar. And so having the white over here makes it easy for me to remember. So as you can see, these have a cast time of basically 5 seconds. And so if you try to cast this, you're going to be absolutely useless. So this is where dual cast comes in. So the point is to do a quick spell, and then you can cast your very long spells instantly. Now, let's see what other things these things do. As you can see, 50% chance of becoming Verse Stone ready. Now, what is that? That literally means you're going to be able to use either this or this, depending on which one you used. Now, because it only has a 50% chance to proc, it is rather unreliable. However, we also have this. Impact. 270 damage, which is the same as Verse Stone and Verse Fire, and increases both black and white mana by 4. But the point is, it deals more damage. Now, this is triggered by Jolt 2, and once you get a certain talent. Let's see, it was Enhanced Jolt? No. Oh yeah, at 66, you finally get Impact. So it basically comes, if you can use this instead of this, use it with a normal cast time, and then use your dual cast instant spell in order to cast either this or this, because they have a very long cast time. And after you use these, they have a chance to grant you a use of either this or this. However, there is something that needs to be noted that the class over here says if we open the bar. Let's see. Here we go. If the gap between black and white mana accumulation grows too large, the crystal at the top of the gauge will change color, and it will become more difficult to accumulate the lesser of the two. Now this is very true, so let us show you what we mean by this. So let's stack up a lot of white mana. Still not enough. There we go, so as you can see. Now, this gives us 3 of each, so in theory, after we use it, we should have 57 and 15. Let's see what happens, shall we? As you can see, it only went up by 1. So yeah, that is definitely something you gotta work on. And this one, that was supposed to give us 11, only gave us 5. Or 7? I think 7. So as you can see, you need to keep both manas technically balanced. And that is the key to a red mage, keeping these balanced. Now, there is another thing about these spells here. As you can see there, chance to become Verstone ready increases to 100% if black mana is higher than white mana at time of execution. So that means that when you use these, which are instant, and you have to use them right away or they basically go away, you have a chance of basically guaranteeing the proc of either the Verstone or Verfire, depending on which one you use. But if you do that as it instantly because it shows up, for example, if we use Verholy, it'll guarantee this, let's say. And if we keep using that, we're going to end up in this situation right here where our manas are completely unbalanced. So what do we do to keep them balanced? Well, I guess the best way to show you is to leave combat and then reset everything. So you can see how combat is generally going to go. Come on. Okay, there's that, and then, hold on, let me switch over to Red Mage. There you are. Excellent. There we go. Okay, so everything is reset. So, how do you learn to play this class? Well, if you're like me and you basically spammed Palace of the Dead, you're going to be spamming this, and then whichever of the one is lower, either white or black mana, you use, and that's going to have a chance to trigger this. And then you're going to trigger, well, hard cast this because it's only a 2-second cast time, and then use the one of the opposite element that you just used. So if you just used this and got a proc from this, after you cast Verstone, you're going to want to instant cast Verthunder to keep them as close as possible to each other. Allow me to show you. So as you can see, we got a proc right there. And because we want to keep them balanced, we're not going to, there's the black one. And we didn't get a proc there, which is unfortunate. But just by alternating between the one you use and everything, and basically what spells you use, you can keep them properly balanced. Now, in the perfect world, it would always proc and you would always be going from here to here to here to here to here to here and basically doing that forever. But unfortunately, the world is not perfect. However, we can force it to proc once using this, acceleration. This basically makes it so that the next time you use either of these two, it guarantees that it procs, as you can see. So let us get us to the appropriate mana levels here. And yes, I am listing a few abilities. We are going to get them in a little bit. Okay, so here we go. We finally have 80 of both mana. So now what? Well, now is where we want to charge in and use our Enchanted Repose, Swirchow, and Redoublement in order to deal maximum damage, and then use this instantly after we jump back, obviously. And that is done with this. We have Core, which basically dashes and puts you right next to him, and just an okay amount of damage. Then you go into the combo, and then you're going to use Displacement, which jumps you back quite a bit of distance, and then from there you're going to be able to cast this, which is instant. So let's do that, shall we? So, Core into the combo, into the jump back, shall we? There it is, and let's use that one. Whatcha? Now, as you can see, this basically had this proc, or almost had a guaranteed proc. However, we are almost over the limit for balancing, so we can't use this just yet. We need to get us some white magic, and there we go. So we'll do that, and we'll do this because we want to keep it balanced, and now we use the black one because it's the lower one. And that is the name of the game, keeping your mana balanced while doing damage. And then, once you have enough mana, go in for the combo, jump back, use either Verholy or Verflare, and really it's just a case of repeat. Now, what other abilities do we have? Well, the most important ones are this, Contrasixt and Flesh. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think all this is French. Now, as you can see, delivers an attack with a potency of 420, which is definitely not bad, on a 25-second cooldown, and delivers an attack to all nearby enemies with a potency of 300 for the first enemy, and so on and so forth. So this is basically a single target one that you can spam quite a lot, and this is an AoE one that you can't spam quite a lot. But basically, you want to use them as soon as they become available, quite literally. And that's what they do, quite literally. So use these as soon as they come available. There's no reason not to. It won't interrupt your combo in any way. Now, as we just went over, the most important aspect of the class is to keep this balance. So that is really all you need to pay attention to. See which one is lower and use the appropriate spells to raise the one that is lower so that they are balanced. So let's give that a try, shall we? Let's say we just reached the boss and we've been charging up with ads over there, so start it up. So we're going to use this because we want to keep our black mana also balanced. There we go. We almost have it. There we go. And now we're ready. We go in, do the combo, spam that, jump back, and holy! There we go. And because we just did that, we don't want to use holy, so we want to use black magic here. There we go. And it procced. Very nice. And now that we're actually close by to the other one, we can raise the holy one without worrying too much. And we are basically done with explaining how the class works. This which you're seeing right here is literally how the class works in all of its forms. So spam your spells, get the proper mana. We're not there quite yet. There we go, dash in, use this. We have nothing else that we can use at the moment. Jump back, and let's use their flare this time. There we go, and repeat. So as you can see, a very easy class to play if we're perfectly honest. There we go. Now, what other things do we have that can help the party? Well, let's talk about AoEs, shall we? We only have 3 AoE abilities or spells. One is this one, which is Contra 6, which we already saw, which is on a very long cooldown. Then we have Scatter. Deals unexpected damage of 100 to everything, which is okay, so that means you really want to use it on at least 3, preferably 4 things and not more. And increases both black mana and white by 3. However, 25% chance you are granted Enhanced Scatter, which increases black mana and white mana by 8 instead of 3. So if you're doing a very big AoE pull, you're going to be spamming this. And that's literally how it's going to look. Because of dual cast, you can cast 2 in quick succession, like that. And that's basically what you're going to be doing. Now, as you can imagine, this takes quite a long to fill up the bar. So what can we do with the bar when we are against AoEs? Well, that is why we have Enchanted Moulinet, I think. Deals unexpected damage to the opponent of 200 to all enemies in the comb before you. This is pretty nifty, so let's do it like this. And that's really all it is. Now, because it is unaspected damage, I do not know if it benefits from our party buff, which is Embolden. I always thought this was for white mages, but I guess not. As you can see, increases own magic damage dealt by 10% and physical damage dealt by nearby party members by 10%. Both effects are reduced by 20% every 4 seconds. So you basically get one very big buff and then it starts going down and down and down. As you can see. And it goes down to 4. There it is. So that is basically our party buff. Now, we also have another very useful ability, which is this, Magnification, which doubles current black mana and white mana levels. Additional effect resets core and displacement recast timers. All combos are cancelled upon execution of Magnification. So what does this mean? This means that if you get lucky right after doing one of our melee combos, and you want to do it as quickly as possible, let's just get both of these to 40, which 2 of these should do. There they are. We can use this. Now we're ready. We can dash in and do our combo. Jump back, and we are now ready. So that is Magnification. That is probably one of the most important cooldowns we have, but it's on a very long cooldown, which is unfortunate. What else do we have? I believe that is pretty much all the important stuff we have here. We have Tether, which honestly, I don't think I've ever used. I mean, the era of crowd control really is long gone in MMOs. Let's see, we have Verraise, we eventually get that. And as you can see, I am missing quite a bit of role abilities because there's nothing here that convinces me. Now, I did grab Surecast because in an emergency, this means I can instantly raise a party member that died. Well, no, Swiftcast, that's what I meant, Swiftcast. So I can instantly raise a party member that died. Also, Surecast I always grab if you watch any of my videos because being immune to knockbacks and drawouts is so useful. Even if you're in the first dungeon in the Ghost Bark, the second boss? Yeah, the second boss tries to draw you in and then you have to run away from him. However, if he targets you and you just go to the edge of the arena and proc this, it'll instantly fail because you can't be dragged in and you're at maximum range, so the tether breaks, and so you're free to do whatever you want again. So what else could be useful here? Mana shift, I don't think so. We have no way to regenerate mana quickly. This is more for black mages that have their Umbral Ice ability, which gives them basically unlimited mana. Podcastus, this is okay. If you're in a raid and you're coordinating, this is definitely useful. However, I do not remember the last raid that actually did magic damage. Maybe X Death, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Erase removes a single damage over time effect from target party member other than self, and gives them a small heal. I don't think I've ever had the time to target somebody and use this ever, so I just don't grab it. Lucid Dreaming reduces enmity by half and gives you some mana back. Honestly, unless you're spamming this and this, you should never run out of mana if you're doing the single target combo, so kinda useless. Diversion reduces enmity regeneration. If you're having aggro problems, this is okay, I guess. Then we've got the same Drain, Break, and Add-on that the Black Mage has, which isn't particularly useful to us. So, with all that said and done, I suppose you now see how simple the Red Mage is. All you gotta do is repeat your standard combo here. Make sure you always use your Swift cast for Ver Aero and Ver Thunder, always, because they're the ones that take the longest to cast. Make sure you use your those things, your sword abilities basically, anytime they're up. Work your way up, then dash in, slice and dice. Then you can use that, we can jump back, we can use this, and that blasts him out. And thanks to that, we now have the buff for our magic damage. And because we were in melee range, we increased everybody's damage that was in melee range by our Embolden. So using it right before you jump back is probably the best thing you can do with it. And that was a mistake on my part anyway. So yeah, this is basically what the Red Mage is. Fill up your mana, and then basically go in for the combo and repeat, quite literally. So as you can see, not particularly complicated, but also not particularly inspired either. There's really nothing that really catches my attention here. And jump back and smack you. There we go. So yes, the Red Mage, as you just seen, it is extremely easy to play. There is no rotation, just a priority based on what you have on your mana bars. And it really gets very, very easy to play, if I'm honest. As I was leveling up in Stormblood doing dungeons, it was very easy to get the hang of things. At no point did any ability that I got completely change what I was doing. So yeah, Red Mage, probably the most new player-friendly class in the game, honestly. Unfortunate because it is from level 50, that a requirement. You can't just start at level 50 yet, so you gotta get another class to level 50 before you can unlock it. I think. Pretty sure that's how it works. So yes, the Red Mage. Very simple and probably relatively efficient. So anyway, I will see you next time.